This is Don Matheson again, former mounted police officer. Website wakeupcanada.info. Craig and I are out here at Sylvan Lake again. This is the 13th. It's Thanksgiving weekend. And as I say, I'm not a professional speaker. There's a lot of people out here on the beach today enjoying this, and I think you can see the background I have. Days like this are what we call an attitude of gratitude. There's a lot of young people enjoying themselves. We've spoken to a few older people, one from Manitoba, a couple from Calgary, and they kind of have the same comments. We don't care about one another anymore. I'm not going to get into some heavy details regarding specific issues, but I'm going to touch on a couple that seems like there's nothing changing. We have a street down Sylvan Lake that's not quite as busy as it is in the summertime. But I want to touch on one that has recently come back up. It's called Miles Gray. It involves 7 Vancouver police officers that beat the living hell out of this guy. He's dead. And all of them got found not guilty of excessive force. And really what I want you to do, I think you owe it to the family, or as a Canadian citizen, to maybe make them take a relook at this. We got too many police officers right now that think they can do whatever the hell they want to do. And from being a former one, I know there's no accountability. They will protect themselves. And if you go up on the site for the mother and the sister for Miles Gray, you're going to find the atrocity of physical violence that occurred to this man's body and what caused his death. I think a truck could have run over him and there wouldn't have been much difference. So the physical pain this young man endured, he should never have had to. But the biggest issue for me is how the hell the 7 police officers get let off. So what's wrong with our systems? They don't work. They simply don't work. They don't protect the systems, the people in those systems that they're meant to protect. I'm ashamed to call myself a former member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police right now. In a podcast shortly, I'm going to explain to you why I have swung that far over. And it had to do with something that happened with me and several police officers that had no authority to do what they were doing. And I guess until it happens to us all, we don't do nothing about it. Only I've been at this for close to 60 years, so it didn't just have to happen to me, but it made me realize just how bad the mounted police are today, and in all areas of them. We have a commissioner that looks like a deer in headlights every time he's talking. His name is Mike DeHame. And when I switch now to Justice for Arlene, there were 9 original police officers involved in the investigation from Kelowna, BC, Lake Country. The drowning, the hell it was a drowning, it was a murder by her husband, Bert Westervelt. And as I said, there were 9 original police officers involved in this that helped cover this up. And today, there are an additional 15 police officers of the highest of ranks in the force right across Canada that are now trying to bury this, that had nothing to do with this. They weren't even stationed in British Columbia. But they're now all weighing in because they're saying, hey, we can't let this come forward again. Our commissioner can't even keep pace with what the hell is happening. He keeps saying, well, give us another chance. We need more money. And the security of Canada right now is at risk. Because they're saying, well, we're paying catch up. We don't have enough money to do what we need to do. Well, then get it. Stop making statements that you want empathy, Commissioner Mike DeHame. And how about your little lady friend there, the Assistant Commissioner Govan? And then let's have a look at the Deputy Commissioner, Flynn. You guys are a real piece of work. Okay? So then get off your butts and do something. Don't let the federal government tell you how to do it and when to do it. You're police officers. Right? I've run into very few people, even today or no matter where I am, that are a little older than I'd say, nobody cares about anybody anymore, Don. These people were from Calgary, and they're really happy they live out here at Sylvan Lake now. They don't even want to go into Red Deer, it's so bad. Wow. Well, that's kind of my sentiments as well. Okay? So where do we find good people anymore? They're sure as hell not in politics. They're not in Crown Prosecutor's office. They're not in lawyer's office. Yeah. They're not in the courts. And I'm attending a fairly good size, it's like a little bit of a convention on the 19th. And the subject of the convention is truth. What the hell is truth anymore? Is it something else you got caught at and you didn't do anything about it to stop until you got caught? There's a lot of people out here on this beach right now enjoying a lot of sunshine. It's autumn, it's Thanksgiving. Don't burn your turkey, people, but try and pay attention to what the hell's going on in this country. You've had a pretty good life, some of you have not. Okay? And that may be fault of other people that don't care about you. I think it's time we started to get back to what we used to be like. What happened, what is happening, and what we're like now. I'm just kind of rather enjoying it down here. I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing. I really don't. But somebody's got to do it. Police officers are supposed to be able to investigate and speak for the dead. Well, they don't. And a good example is, again, I'm going to go back to Miles Gray. How the hell did 7 police officers beat the living hell out of this guy? And all I'm asking you to do is go up and look at the injuries this man sustained. Yet there wasn't one police officer held accountable. And not only to throw good after bad, or bad after good. Some of these police officers have gone on to do similar things to other people. 4 of them at least. So the writing was on the wall. So why are they still in police uniforms? Why do they have a badge that can walk up and demand that you tell them who you are? I'd like to one day sit down here on this wall, and maybe I will before winter, and talk about something that's good or decent. But I can't do that because we're really all hiding it. The reason we have so much bad in our uniforms is the people that are good, that are trying to good, or say they're good, are doing nothing about the bad ones. Do I understand why they won't? Yeah, I suppose I do. I don't wear that uniform anymore, and I have all my uniforms, but I'll never put them on again. What happened to us, people? What happened to us as a society is still happening to us. Evan Bray, the chief of police in Regina, still hasn't come forward to acknowledge that he raped his own daughter's babysitter. The new chief of police, Farouk Hassam Sheikh, I left him with 282 pages of documents. And he does not want to step into it, or we would have heard something from him by now. So what's the obligation to a chief of police that has become aware that a rape happened to a young babysitter, and he's still doing nothing about it? Well, Saskatchewan's in the middle of an election, and a beautiful young lady there that has a safety company. It's political time, and she had asked the Mounted Police to investigate this. Her name's Desiree. And the Mounted Police had said, we are investigating it. Well, they've been told they won't investigate it until into January. Why? Because it's an election time. What, did Scott Moe put some pressure on them? Well, gee whiz, if you guys investigate this, I won't get back in again. Some of you people in politics don't deserve to get back in. And I can switch back over to Heather Gray. And what's happening with Heather Gray in the Regina Police Service? She got a settlement from workman's compensation, which she deserved. But she deserves more from the Regina Police Service. Is she going to get it? No, not as long as we have the current chief we've got and the former chief, Evan Bray. Yeah, and I got to remind you people of Saskatchewan that there were massive billboards a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago now, where the province put up, Evan Bray is the spokesperson for the people of Saskatchewan. This guy is a rapist. Come on, Canadians, wake the hell up. I'm really finding out now that you're getting the government and the police forces that you deserve. And until you start doing something to make them be accountable, you're going to continue to get the same people. There's no accountability in any of our police forces anymore. There's a code of conduct. Gee whiz. You know how many police officers can just move from one place to the other? Because the outfit they belong to charged them under the Police Act. Well, Pierre Poilievre just finally decided the other day to charge a cabinet minister under the criminal code, which affects all of us, which we all have to abide by it. So they don't get to move from one police force to the other or retire with benefits. The criminal code offense stays with them no matter where they go. So what are you going to do, public? Are you going to do anything about this? No, you're not. So I want to ask you, why not? Time, Kirk. So I'm looking at a beautiful day here again today. I have to point that out to you because some of you don't. You enjoy the scenery, but in order to get that way, people had to do it for you, make it better. Well, I think sometimes we're making it worse. We can't keep hiding our responsibility, public. We owe that to our children and our grandchildren. They are the future of this country. You want to have a look at where we're at today? They don't have a future because we're not doing anything to support them right now. Oh, I forgot. I live in a society that does nothing preparatory. We wait until it happens, and we say, oh, gee whiz, we better do something about this. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a reminder of some of the things that are still out there. I haven't touched on a portion of what we're going to come out with. And after what's happened to me personally with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I'm waiting for these people to be charged. I'm waiting for us to file the documents in court. Then I'm going to give you all the details. It's bad enough it happens to young people, middle age, but when it happens to 82-year-old civilians, then I'm one of those people now. Do I have empathy for people that are going through what I just did? You bet I did. There's a lot of happy voices out here on the beach walking up and down. Some people putting a paddle boat into the water. Other people just enjoying what's here for you to enjoy. But if you want to keep enjoying it, people, help maintain it. Stand up for something, or you stand up for nothing. So I'm going to say good afternoon to you all. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. And if you eat too much and you get a little bloated, that's on you, not on anybody else. So happy Thanksgiving to you out there. Again, this is Don Matheson coming to you from Sylvan Lake, Alberta on the 13th of October, 2024. Stay well, take care. That's not a request, that's an order.